Good afternoon. My name is Justin Viller with the Committee of 70. It is Election Day Eve. The primary is tomorrow. So we're very excited to wrap up our Studio C70 student candidate interview series this cycle with Sarah Jones, who is running for Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas. Today, Sarah will be interviewed by Mr. Quinn's seventh period social sciences class. These are all seniors. And so, Mr. Quinn, I'm going to turn it over to you at Central High School. Really appreciate you all being here. And thank you very much, Ms. Jones, for taking time in a busy day, I'm sure, for you.
Of course.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, C70. And thank you, Ms. Jones, for joining us. So like Justin said, this is our 12th grade civics class. And I've got three students who want to ask you some questions. I'm going to let them take it away. But if you would first like to just introduce yourself, and then I'll let the students take it from here.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Jones. I'm running for Court of Common Pleas judge here in Philadelphia. I'm number 11 on the ballot. In terms of background, for the past 11 years, I've practiced criminal defense and family law. I'm in either family court or the criminal justice center every day. I'm one of the youngest candidates running. I'm only 37 years old. I tell everyone that some people think that that is a disadvantage. I see it as an advantage because I think our bench needs a younger perspective on it, with fresh thoughts. So that's one of the reasons that I chose to run. I won't bore you with a ton of background, but I appreciate you having me here today, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you. I'm Annie, and I want to ask, what inspired you to pursue a legal career?
What inspired me? It's funny. I was at my childhood home this weekend, actually, and I made my husband look at my 8th grade project, and it asked where I wanted to be in my future. And I had said that I wanted to get married, which I did. And I also said in it that I wanted to go to law school. So from, I guess, 12 years old, I did want to go to law school, and I didn't know if I was ever smart enough to get into law school, to be honest with you. But I applied after college, and that's what, started my legal career, going to law school. But to be honest with you, from a young age, I wanted to be a lawyer. It interested me, and I like to argue and get my point across. So that's what really sparked my interest in the legal field.
Yeah, so like a childhood dream. What is what do you think is the most important value to have as a judge?
I think the most important value is, trying to think of the most important, because I have a few. I think the most important value is probably to treat everyone with respect and fairness, and do that for each and every person, no matter your race, your gender, your background, ethnicity, no matter what language you speak or what you look like. That's a value that I think is, needs to be held to the highest degree for someone that, is on the bench.
So you place a lot of like importance on like equality and like not being biased.
Yes.
What's your proudest moment of your career?
My proudest moment of my career, I actually had the opportunity to argue before the Pennsylvania Supreme Court in March of 2024. It was a case myself and my boss were involved in. It's actually a grand jury case, which means that I'm held under a secrecy oath, and it means that I'm not allowed to talk about the case. But my boss, who is, a very successful criminal defense attorney, he had never argued before the Supreme Court, and he had me do the argument, which was at City Hall. And it was a really cool moment for me. I ended up, well, I argued for over an hour. One of the sheriffs actually told me it was the longest he had ever heard someone argue before the Supreme Court. And I actually, successfully argued. The court agreed with me and wrote an opinion on our appeal and, set precedent in regards to grand jury case law. So I would say that was probably my proudest moment.
So are you pretty passionate about like doing stuff like that?
Yes, I am. I'm passionate about, advocating, and, doing the best job possible as an advocate on behalf of my clients, whether that's a mother trying to get custody of their child, or someone that is, filed a protection from abuse petition against someone for domestic violence, or a criminal defendant who's been charged with a crime. I love advocating. I love being in the courtroom. I love being prepared and being able to argue a case, to the absolute best of my ability.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ethan Soto, and
How you doing?
how's it going? I wanted to ask, what pro bono work have you done?
So when I started as an attorney, I chose to practice family law too. And I didn't have any type of mentor. I didn't have access to any type of forms. I had to basically do everything on my own. And I started doing pro bono work for an organization called Philadelphia VIP. It's an organization that provides free legal work, and I actually was involved in a custody case on behalf of a mother. She had one child that was special needs. I represented her in that case, and I was actually invited, me and her, to speak at the Philadelphia VIP Awards night, because we had come to a great resolution in the custody case. And that was one example early on that I've done. In terms of recently, I am always willing to help out, friends of clients or family referred to clients. My husband's a veteran too. I try to help out veterans in any way possible. He's a combat veteran. So in terms of filing expungements or maybe, coming and covering a court case for someone, that's the type of pro bono work I've done. I haven't necessarily done it for the awards. I do it quietly, because I honestly am trying to help someone, not trying to just, get the award to make myself look good. At the end of the day, it's about providing free legal services for people that actually need those services, not for any type of award.
That's a great reason to do that. My other question is, what is the biggest challenge you've had facing the Philadelphia court system?
The biggest challenge I've faced in the Philadelphia court system is probably how long it can sometimes take to get to court. Our Philadelphia court system is flooded with cases, especially in family court, which is sometimes difficult because you're waiting months to get into court for a really difficult and pressing issue, especially when it comes to custody. A parent might not have a court date for a couple of months, which limits their time in seeing a child. So I think in terms of challenges, getting into court and having your day in court has definitely been a challenge as an attorney because, I want everything resolved as soon as possible. And sometimes I have to wait to do that.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hi, my name is Ian. So I would like to ask you, how do you ensure that people that maybe lack resources are getting their voices heard?
Well, the first thing I can do, Ian, is make sure that pro se litigants, meaning they don't have an attorney, are treated equally as those that do have an attorney. Okay, that's number one. No one should be getting preferential treatment just because they have an attorney. Number two, is making sure that litigants know that there are resources out there. I know of one judge in family court that actually keeps a list of free resources in her courtroom and can hand them out to say this is a list of organizations that can provide free legal help if you choose or if you would like it. I think that's a great idea because I think oftentimes the problem is that litigants and people, they don't even know where to start in finding a resource. So if that resource can be provided, probably one of the hardest steps is taken out, and that they have a list of places that, you know, are good resources for attorneys that can help.
Yeah, that sounds great. So if you were to get elected, how would you continue to still like engage and help with the community?
I continue, if I were to be elected, first thing I'd want to do is, you know, really look into all of the resources that are provided in the courts. I always say that I think that judges need to listen to the people that are providing these resources and also the people that are, you know, using these resources, because I want to make sure that they're good resources. Okay. And the best person that can say that is the person that's actually doing this program or involved in this, you know, class. And in terms of me staying involved in the community, you know, I'd stay involved in the community just the same as I have as a person. As a judge, I don't think that needs to change. I think that I'm going to probably see a new viewpoint as a judge and maybe see organizations that I want to get more involved in, which will again give me a new perspective on where I'm needed and where I can benefit the community the most.
So what's like your biggest goal of like becoming a judge? Like what are you trying to accomplish?
My biggest goal is to be a fair, impartial judge that listens and also follows the law. As judges, we need to be impartial and we need to listen. I think one of the most underrated qualities of a judge is their ability to listen. I'm here talking to you a lot today, but as a judge, I'd like to talk less and listen a lot more to the evidence presented to me and then apply the law to come up with a decision that is based on what I've heard and, you know, based on what the law is. And that's what I plan to do as a judge if elected.
All right, thank you.
Of course.
Are you okay with moving on to the lightning round?
Sure.
What's your favorite song or movie or book?
Oh gosh. My favorite, let's do my favorite, oh my gosh, guys. My favorite song is Clarity by Zed.
Were you born in Philly?
I was not. I was born in Sea Isle City, New Jersey.
Oh, okay then. What's your favorite place to get a cheesesteak from?
Favorite place, Angelo's.
It's good. What do you need?
Oh, I have our preference.
Oh, what's yours?
No, that's cool.
So what's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant. My favorite restaurant. Let's go with Pub and Kitchen.
Y'all heard of it?
Do you have any more questions? Any, it's gonna be lightning questions?
Oh yeah, I can come up with these all day.
Still got?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Do you have any pets?
No.
Do you want one?
Yes.
What do you want?
A dog.
What kind of dog?
I think I want a rescue. So whoever comes up and gives me the most hugs and kisses when I meet them.
That's a good answer.
It's the truth.
Do you guys have any other sort of questions about being a judge or running for a judge? Okay, so I have a question for you. Why is it important for young people to vote in local elections?
Well, first off, in terms of judges, you are more likely to come in contact with a judge than I would say any other political figure. Okay. There's usually some reason, whether good or bad, sometimes that you end up in court and you would be in front of one of these judges. Okay. And secondly, and maybe this should have been first, but your voice matters. I told you I'm one of the youngest running. You know, I'm closer to your age than I am some of the people I'm running with. And I believe that my voice matters, and you should believe that your voice matters too.
All right. Well, thanks. Is there anything you want to close with?
Well, I want to close with, I think it's so important that you guys participate in this. And it was important to me too. If I'm not sure if you know, but tomorrow is the election. I'm running around like crazy right now, but it was really important for me to come and talk to you guys and do this. That, I carved out my day that so I could, participate in this, because I can't tell you how important your voice is. And whether you need to hear it from me, your teachers, your parents, it's the truth. Your voice matters. And, I think that this is a great exercise. And I think that you should always question politicians and what they stand for and who they are, because it's the only way you're going to find out, who you should actually vote for. So that would be my closing, guys.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jones. Really
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Student at Central, thank you very much for your questions. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we look forward to seeing the results, and best of luck for the next 28 hours, 29, 30.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.